What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the vlog. Guess who? Guess what? Doing another Hey Sean this morning. Hey Sean is where I field questions from the tribe, from the fans, about anything related to nursing, and they usually start the question with the words, Hey Sean. Today's Hey Sean comes from a new grad nurse who's curious about the effects of her new job position. She's interested in pursuing a career or interested in getting a position in an outpatient setting. Wants to know, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I think I have three things that I want you to think about when any nurse, especially a new grad, decides to work in the outpatient versus the inpatient settings. The first thing is, go where you feel comfortable or where you know. Now, if you're a brand new grad, then this sort of doesn't apply to you. But you can still think about where your comfort level is. There is no wrong answer. I want you to remember that outpatient, this is not a game, this is not a battle between inpatient and outpatient. There's no such thing as you're only a real nurse if you work in inpatient versus outpatient. We are nurses, we work in a variety of settings, so don't let that influence your decision. Second thing is, I want you to think about your job choice, sort of like the NCLEX. You're gonna have to prepare. There are things you are not gonna know, there are things you are gonna know. Think about it for a second. If and when you have taken or will be taking the NCLEX, there are things that you're going to be tested on that you're only going to come across once in your entire career. Yet you need to know it for the test. Going to be the same thing with this new job in outpatient setting. Most of your training as a nurse, as a new grad, have been in the inpatient setting, because that's where the majority of us work. You're going to have to apply what you learn in the inpatient setting to the outpatient setting. The third thing, and this is probably the most important thing about choosing a position in the outpatient setting, is that you will lose what you don't use. If you don't use it, you lose it. So once you go to the outpatient setting, doesn't matter how long you've been there, once you're in the outpatient setting and you start to not practice the skills that you learned in the inpatient setting, for instance, learning how to give a sub-Q injection, drawing up insulin, a physical assessment that involves auscultating heart sounds on a sick patient who has a specific heart condition, giving medication like Lasix and seeing what the results are of that medication, looking at EKG strips. Most of these things you're going to see in inpatient, not outpatient. There are going to be a variety of illnesses, pathologies, diagnoses that you're going to see only in the inpatient setting. So when you go to outpatient, the less you see of this, the more blunted your skills are going to be. So don't expect to have sharp IV start nursing skills in the outpatient setting. Not unless you're doing that for that particular position. I've had many friends, many nurses who pick a position earlier in their career that ended up handicapping them later in their career because they chose this particular job because it had good pay, or it was the only thing in town, and they did that earlier in their career. And then when they wanted to get back into the inpatient setting, they were very, very hampered in their skill set. They had to basically relearn what it was like to be a nurse working on the inpatient floors. So if you decide to work in the outpatient setting, you need to understand the gravity of that decision. It's going to affect your career later down the line. 2 years down the line, 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, You have no idea what life's going to throw at you, and you may very well need to leave the outpatient setting and go to the inpatient setting. Now you're going to have to basically relearn a large set of skills. And if you decide that you don't want to be in the outpatient setting and you start looking for a job in the inpatient world, a lot of employers are probably not going to hire you, or you're going to be the last on their list because they're going to have to retrain you. You're going to have to relearn everything that you forgot. So you're not going to be as qualified as a candidate if it were someone who has been working in the inpatient setting. Those are the 3 things I want you to think about. 3 things. Number 1, this isn't a contest between inpatient and outpatient. Number 2, I want you to treat this decision as if it was like the NCLEX, studying for the NCLEX. And number 3, if you don't use it, you will lose it. If you don't use it, you will lose it. That last sentence is a theme in every aspect of your career. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, all the people that hung out with me in the live feed. Hope you've subscribed. Hope you'll share this with someone. And if you have any questions that I can answer for you, a nurse practitioner with 15 years of nursing experience, how can I help you? Leave your comment down below. And as always, check your own pulse first.